it's easy to kind of buy into that secular mindset of like, or like just even like a moment of doubt. It's like, is God really real? Right?
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, but the sentiment is like, in like, especially like in a moment of like temptation, it's like really easy to think like, what was I gonna say? If it's very convenient for God to not exist, right?
Welcome to the Hey Brother podcast, where Catholic men share about real struggles. I'm Nick Clooney, your host, a Catholic psych mentor and the founder of Craft It For More, a mentorship practice dedicated to helping men live more radically free lives. Each week, I sit down with a man to hear his story about how brotherhood has shaped him, the struggles he's facing, and where he wants to grow. In addition to our weekly interviews, I share conversations with my brother Mitch. Subscribe and follow so we can walk this journey together. We want your help to build a stronger, authentic Catholic brotherhood.
You ready to hear a terrible joke?
I'm always ready to hear a terrible joke.
This is so stupid. What do you call a blind deer?
Blind deer? I think I might know this one, but hit me. What is it?
No idea.
No idea.
What do you call a paralyzed blind deer?
What? Hit me.
Still no idea. What do you call a paralyzed blind deer that is cut in half? Still half no idea. All right, I'm done.
Good. I think the first time I heard that was like at a Catholic Family Land.
I think that's where it came
That's
from.
weird. Okay, yeah. That's good.
From Fritz, right?
He was in my brother-in-law's wedding party. Isn't that crazy? Like Josh Fritz?
No.
Fritzy?
No, it was a different person.
Was it? Okay. I'm thinking of two different people.
Yeah, I might have his first name was like Fritz or something.
Yeah, whatever. I heard a good joke about a narcissist the other
He was
day.
like he went to the Josephinum. Fritz did. The guy that told that joke?
Yeah, now he's married.
I have no idea. Sure. I don't think so. But
Man,
anyhow,
we'll have to do our research to figure
Yeah.
out where this joke came from.
where credit is due.
We had some folks over for dinner, and the husband of the couple said, "How many narcissists does it take to change a light bulb?"
How many?
One narcissist to hold the light bulb, and the world spins around him. Yeah. I'm like, that's light bulb jokes get old after a little bit, but I'm like, that one was good. It hit different. But yeah, so this is we're doing things a little different. The first thoughts is dropping immediately Tuesday after this conversation with Andrew. I guess this is the second time we're doing this first thoughts, where we're in this new paradigm where it's 24 hours after. But I just got done talking with Andrew, and you listen to it quite literally on your drive over here.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on have you met Andrew before?
We talked about this one other time. Yes, I have. I don't remember much other than we played a game of chess. And he was better at chess than I was, except his daughter, I think. One of his children was like distracting the heck out of it. And then at one point he completely like hung a rook, like just like for nothing, because he was like super distracted, and then it made it terrible. Like it was like a 5-year-old would have made a better move, and
he didn't survive for that.
No, I took that, and then that was enough to level the playing field.
Yeah, that's good.
But yes, that was.
That's all you remember.
That's all I remember. That was probably like 6 years ago already, or something crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe like 4.
So you've met him once, yeah, and you probably didn't know much about him.
I didn't know anything about him. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your initial this is what I love about like the breakdowns, like these first thoughts is like I know most of the people I'm interviewing, like with a handful of like a few people that I don't know, but like there's often times where you're like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he has like a really interesting life to be like. He was like that whole flag thing right at the beginning, where he was like on all the news stations when he was 17.
Yeah, that caught me. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then
I was tempted to go on CNN or like go looking for Andrew Larochelle on CNN and see if I could find the flag story, but yeah.
It's Larochelle. Is that what you say?
Larochelle.
Larochelle. Okay. I think I heard he said it like 6 times, and then like immediately I'm like, I have no idea.
What? Yeah. What is this guy's last name?
But no, he's been the bit where he was in the Fletcher, Miles Fletcher, or
From
Whiplash
yeah.
style kind of conservatory.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he would said something along the lines of like, I remember my first day, and I thought he was going to close it with a professor whipped a chair at someone.
Right. Yeah. That movie is a really good capture of realism. I think I said that when I was talking with Andrew, but
which is scary.
Yeah, that's like what he experienced. And like we have a sister who was in like the music world for a little bit. It wasn't, I mean, still I guess is teaching as a musician, our music teacher, and she definitely probably had some of that like intense culture, but not like
not at the elite level.
Yeah, but she was still like crazy person when it came to practice and everything like that. So, but yeah, that was like where he went and like lived life. And like the more and more I do like these interviews, the more I'm like seeing how much we always come back to like identity. I mean, that's what we talked about a couple weeks ago with John's.
Yeah.
Like how identity like becomes like kind of this focus point. But that was like the case with him. Like, you know, what is my identity? Part of that was musician. And Capital, or the place he went to school, like was a part of that.
Yeah, I thought one of the interesting things about his musical identity, though, is that he said something about, like, you know, he was, like, music tech, and he's, like, the skill that he developed was, like, the ears to listen, right? And it just got me thinking a little bit about how like, in life, you just kind of develop the lens in which you view the world, right? Like, because, like, excuse me, geez. The music, like, analogy, he was, like, you could listen to a song, and, like, he's like, did you hear that? There was an perfection there,
right?
But like, I guess my translation from that is like, in life you can, I don't know, you get this sense of how you like view situations differently after a while, right? And you know, and the more you practice and experience life, the more you develop that like innate ability to, like, I don't know, critique things. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm very abstract right now.
No, I think like there's like almost this intuition of like something disordered, right? That you could pick up on. And I don't even know if it's necessarily like amount of life lived as it is like how close are you to like living a virtuous life, right?
Yeah.
And like that usually like, the two and two go hand in hand, right? Like as you get older, you tend to live more virtuously. Like, the more time you got, the more chances you got to
the first concrete example I'm thinking of right now is just like my relationship with my son over like the last like year and a half, really, where I was like quick to yell and be frustrated with him, but now like when those moments arise, I have that like ability to know he did something and then be like, I'm going to be frustrated by that. It's not even like after the fact. It's just like knowing yourself, like when you wake up in the morning and like your inclinations to like how you're going to respond to things. And like, just like, I don't know if you feel that at all, but like, I'm like, today when I wake up, I'm like, I need to be extra patient with my son because I know I'm going to get set off easy.
Sure.
You know?
So you would say maybe more like of like this self-awareness kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is my first time thinking about it. It's first thoughts.
First thoughts, yeah. I mean, I think there is a really good analogy there for life and like how, yeah, we can, if you have that like interior disposition to keep looking inward, right? You start to catch that and see that. Just like if you start to like prepare to listen to music, you start to correct and like connect like, okay, yeah, that was definitely like a couple cents short, like on being either flat or, you know, a little sharp, whatever the case may be. Like you can start to see that within yourself. Like, okay, yeah, that was a severe overreaction that I had with my son.
Yeah.
like I could have done better there, right? You start to see those things. So I think that's interesting.
He had some really cool quotes in there. One thing he said that I thought just like kind of speaks to like how a lot of people in society feel. But what he said was, if God doesn't exist or care about me, then I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, man. Like I was never at that point like in my life, but you know, not for like an extended period of time, you know, maybe like day by day kind of.
Yeah. Even like moment by moment, it's so easy to forget like that God's in charge of it all, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's easy to kind of buy into that secular mindset of like, or like just even like a moment of doubt. It's like, is God really real? Right?
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, but the sentiment is like, in like, especially like in a moment of like temptation, it's like really easy to think like, like, what was I gonna say? If it's very convenient for God to not exist, right? And in like a moment of temptation, because like you just get that doubt, and it's just like, well, I don't know, like maybe this is all a bunch of bullshit, and then you let whatever happen.
You give yourself permission. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if it doesn't care or exist, then like Andrew said, it's fair game.
Yeah.
If you take that out, then all that matters is making myself happy.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting, like, to see how our image of God, like, is impacted by our dads in a lot of ways. So, like, when it's like he doesn't care, right? Like, okay, my mind goes as a mentor, like, okay, like what, like what dad boons are like pulling that up, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, dad doesn't really care. Like he's off doing more important things, right? Or like more things that like, he's not really like engaged in my life. And it's so easy to like, depending on what your relationship with your dad is like, it could be like that. Or like the opposite's true. Like, where you feel overwatched, right? Like dad sees everything and like there's always like a perfect way to see everything, and then that's your kind of template for God. And imagine like people like have different experiences with that all the time of like either God doesn't care or like he cares too much, right?
Yeah.
And like both are like extremes, right?
Yeah, you just make me think of that sentiment that like that some people say that like I always hate it when they said it, but they're like the God of the universe like doesn't care about my sex life. Like I'm like, I think you're underestimating. Like you're underestimating how much God cares, but like in the light of overestimating God's like power and omniscience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a weird box people put God in.
Yeah, because it's every part of life except maybe these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Well, I think that's maybe a good place to wrap things up for this first thoughts on Andrew and his conversation. What was the thing that he talked about growing in? Do you remember?
Authenticity.
Authenticity, which as any man, like we can work on growing in authenticity, right? Like there's a need for that.
Yeah. Catch Friday's video and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Dive deep, right? There we go. Real talk. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. And if this has been a blessing to you guys, please like, subscribe, share this with a brother who's looking for some encouragement, who's looking for brotherhood. And we just want to welcome you guys into this journey as we all strive to become the men that God's created us to be. And we'll catch you guys next time. God bless.